Good? All right. Thanks, guys, for watching the preview to this. And you'll notice that we have an amazing sponsor here. Blair Brothers have helped us out and sponsored this event. And we have some great candidates here. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to hit the like button. I want you to throw in questions after. The candidates are not going to see them right now, but they will see them later. And I'm going to introduce people here. We got Anthony Sakachi from Ward 2. We got Marjorie Crew here from Ward 6. We got Nick Cadot from Ward 5, Melissa Harrigan from Ward 1, and Jamie McGrail from Ward 4. And the topic of discussion we're going to talk about right now is the downtowns in our area. A lot of people see vacant buildings, vacant storefronts, and not a lot of action in the downtowns where some other communities do have a ton of action. So we're going to get started and we're going to discuss, and I'm going to stop talking. So we're going to start with Marjorie. What do you think here?
Thanks.
You got the biggest downtown is Chatham.
Well,
so.
we do have a very big downtown, and if anyone remembers our downtown in the 80s, it kind of looked like bombs went off. It was pretty vacant and desolate. I think that you need to have economic drivers in our communities, and I believe that our downtown cores are they need to be vibrant, and they need to be lively to encourage economic growth in our communities. The role that municipalities can play, they can have partnership grants, build and maintain, make sure the infrastructure in our downtowns is up to par, and that we invest properly in those things. If we don't invest in our downtowns, we can't expect other people to.
Right.
Can I build on that?
Build on it. That's what we're here for.
Because I think, we always say investing in our downtowns. What investing in downtowns means is, for me, it's twofold, because there are owners who are owning the buildings of downtown. That means we're investing in those small businesses and those small business owners. And then there are tenants who are renting in the downtown space that we need to invest in. So I think Marjorie's point about the partnerships and the grants and opportunities is really good. Where we can take that a step farther is being really clear for owners and for tenants what programs and opportunities are available to them. Because I know if you get a good owner, and even in my ward, we've seen some people who have done really awesome things with some of their buildings, then that just spreads, right? It creates this domino effect, and I think we see that in our downtowns. But then we also have tenants that are trying really hard to break into the downtown, right? Go from the back of the garage to the downtown, and that's a costly endeavor. So we need to ask ourselves, as a municipality, and ask our economic development services what can be done to help facilitate that transition. Because I would say, if you talk to some of those small business owners, that's the steep transition, right? They need to get to that hump to get into the downtown, then they need to stay there, which is another challenge in and of itself.
Yeah.
So I would like to continue this discussion also, that's awesome, but last night we talked about, festivals and that. And we need to make sure that's an open book for everyone to come in, because when I was in Dresden, a couple weeks ago when they had their nighttime market, that was vibrant, that was full, that was bunches of people, and it was great to see that, and that was in their downtown core.
Right.
So we need to build on that and understand that and bring it to those communities outside of Chatham proper, because we need to start reaching into those farther reached communities and bring forth like what they have available, because we have St. Clair Parkway and we go all the way up there and it's beautiful up there. There's beautiful parks, like bring them there. I'm getting away from a little bit of the downtown, but they may not have that downtown,
right,
but they're still a very important part of our municipality. So that to me is back to tourism too, is to be able to promote that. That will also bring those businesses down there if we can be able to showcase, make people understand what's actually there. I walked down those streets of Dresden and I was like, I didn't even know this was here, and they were awesome, beautiful little places that had unique little things that I would never have even thought to go to.
I actually work in downtown Wallaceburg. I sit on the BIA board in Wallaceburg. I think, again, with you saying about events, that's great. It creates tourism. We need to market our downtown. Each one of them has a unique asset that we can market to. I do think we need to invest a little bit more into infrastructures in the downtown. Wallaceburg this year, I found 2 rotten light posts that were about to fall over. That shouldn't happen. We should have more beautification programs with up-to-date trash cans, with recycling, make it a modern city. So when those people do come to spend their tourism dollars, they feel like they're in the Stratfords or wherever the other vibrant downtown cores are.
And I think it's important too, kind of to touch on what Melissa said as well, is the networking aspect. We have to, as a municipality, have to network with our small businesses to ensure that we can, kind of meet their needs. I've spoke to several people in the small businesses, and sometimes they feel like there's kind of like a hindering process in regards to bettering themselves. It's more like it's a hinder than help. I think that we have to extend our hand to the small businesses to say, we're here to help you. What can we do to help you on your goal, and know what the needs is. So I think listening to these small businesses is half the battle. Listening to what they need. We've been lucky in my ward. I guess you can kind of look at, there's several kind of smaller downtown areas, but the biggest one would probably be Blenheim. I think we're very lucky that we have a pretty like a nice downtown area. Most of our area, our storefronts are full. We've had investors come in that has rented a lot of properties out. That's fixed them all up. And going on as we speak right now, they have like a revitalization process going up where they're doing the sidewalks and fixing some stone, and that's important. If it looks good, it's just beneficial to everybody. It's beneficial to the community. It's beneficial to the businesses. And then we have to work on the taxes in regards to the heart of our cities, right? So if the heart of our cities are paying extreme amount of taxes, like Melissa said, in regards to renting and operating, the ones that are renting, ultimately their rent is so much more increased if their taxes are high, right? Because you have to recover, the money that the landlord is putting out to operate the facility, right? So
Awesome.
So I just continue that is, how about an incubator? Can you imagine an incubator in Mitchell's Bay? What a perfect setting, right? You're going there, you're building your business. Usually they're young people, entrepreneurs, and then you have the beach down the way, right? And then it's a lifestyle, right? So then we have to create lifestyles, right? Because when we create a lifestyle, people stay.
Yep.
We had this conversation about incubators the other night, and a comment that I made is you often see incubators developing. I mean, there's not the trendy sign and the MacBook computers in the incubator, but you see businesses that are really mature business owners, or they've been in the area for a while, who are starting to rent out in cost sharing. So there's a business owner in Tilbury I was chatting with who told me that he had a warehouse. I thought maybe had 3 or 4 businesses in it. He said he had something like 21 businesses all working out of this one space. And they've been there for a long time, and they're long-time tenants because it works for them. They're cost sharing the overhead. So I think you can do the incubator. I think incubators are actually happening a lot more than we think in the community of Chatham-Kent. And it's largely driven by small businesses and those small business networks that we have. So being able to tap into that and asking those business people, what's happening that's right? What are you doing right? And then learning from those best practices and working with our ECDEV and our small business centers to build on that is a really good way to shape the future. And I've often told people, council's not the experts, right? Like, I'm not a business owner personally, so I'm certainly not an expert in business. But what a council's role is to really listen and to absorb what some of those best practices are, and to have some conversations about what we're hearing out, on the streets of our downtown cores.
Right.
And it's also important for us to recognize that all of Chatham-Kent and all of our communities are so unique and different, but we have to celebrate and recognize the differences and fund and support those differences and listen to our community leaders and those neighborhood leaders. What do they need? Not what we need. It's like, what can we bring to you? How can we help you? How can we help you thrive? Because when you thrive, we all thrive.
I think the municipality could do a better job supporting the BIAs. They're the groups that are out there doing the work for those downtown cores, and I across the board I hear that they could use some more municipal support from them.
Absolutely, and I think collaboration to keep communities safe and vibrant. We need to all work together, because it's not on one entity, not a municipality, not a person, not a BIA, but everyone working together to make sure that we address those key issues in our communities and
So
neighborhoods.
it's Chatham-Kent helping ourselves.
That's right.
Right.
and networking with all the communities together, like, I think it'd be beneficial for like the BIAs to meet, maybe, in regards to all of them, to see the different issues that they're seeing, right? Every little area is a little bit different, but there's, let's face it, to be completely honest, it's hard to operate a small business in Chatham-Kent. Every single person that owns a small business will tell you that it's hard for them, and they employ a lot of our workers here in Chatham-Kent. It's not always the factories and the big the franchises and that. A lot of our employees come from small businesses, so we have to do our best, I think, to do our due diligence to make sure that they're succeeding. If they succeed, if our downtowns are busy, our downtowns are beautiful, it's just a natural process. If something looks good, something's busy, people go. That's just how it is, right?
And it shifts attitude.
That's
Attitude
right.
means a lot more than what we think
right.
it is. It's
It breeds, right?
It
Positive,
breeds
that's right.
positive vibes.
That's right.
And when a recruiter's coming looking at developing in an industrial park, they'll go sit at a franchise in the area, and if there's a positive vibe, then they will invest in that area.
Look at it as like a bar or a restaurant, right? If a bar or a restaurant, people will wait in line if it's busy. People will wait in line if it's a happening place, right? People want to be where it's busy, so that's just.
Yeah, I think we lose sight of the value of those small employers. You know, they are the large employers when they're all put together. They're not the big factories, you know, but they are generating lives and food and lifestyles in our community.
Absolutely. And growing, like, creating community and
That's right.
creating a family, right? That's rooting people in their small towns and their hometowns.
And developing pride.
Yeah.
But I think also, like, I know we're talking a municipal level here, but there's provincial, right, and federal that needs to play, right? And that's where we go to our ACTAV department to help us to get those grants and get in contact. I've done that myself personally. I went to them and I said, okay, training's a big thing, right? As you move forward within your business and to keep current. Training costs are one of our big costs and going forward. And I'm like, can you help me? Is there anything there? And they did. But you have to ask, right? And that's the first thing. And I had open doors there. So, and they led me, they gave me the contact. They made sure, you know, they said, don't say it's us that's helping, and gave the number and that. And they were very helpful for me. But it's the education. And I know, and I've seen stuff on Facebook through ECDEF lately that they're actually offering courses for certain things. We need, as helping ourselves, we need to take advantage of those courses and go to them. Because they are available. And I think they're making progress with that and understanding and giving that training, because we all need that training in a group setting, so it's less expensive, it's more affordable that way. So we all need to take more advantage of that. So, and that's that Chatham-Kent helping ourselves again, is that we need to work with each other, because we can't just put it on the municipality, we have to take some of that ourselves.
That's right.
I'd like to take it in a little bit of a different direction and throw the arts and culture twist into the conversation.
Okay.
You know, in our communities, we've seen various initiatives, right? Especially around the holidays, where all the businesses will get together and they'll put a holiday display or a Thanksgiving display or a summer display or an art display. And I think there's good opportunities you've seen in other communities where the vacant businesses have been filled with murals. We've talked about that for a long time in our communities as being like, you know, wouldn't it be great that even if the building is empty, the windows are beautiful, right? So that when people are walking down, you see that beautification. There is an arts and culture movement that is very much growing in Chatham-Kent. I know Art in the Park in Tilbury is a major event that's now spreading over to Chatham because of the work that some of those great community members are doing. And I think there's a huge opportunity to engage with our arts community now that it is really it's always been thriving, but now it's publicly thriving, if that makes sense, right? So we can leverage that art and culture network to talk to them about what opportunities we could use to beautify our downtowns. Because I do think, you know, I drive through Tilbury right now, and there are some beautiful flower gardens and pots. Like, the municipality has done a really great job in some areas, and then in other areas you don't see anything. So how can you engage your arts and culture community to help to beautify some of those areas?
So this is where I come in, and I'm like a cheerleader for our local organizations, because municipality, you know, sometimes it takes a little bit to get things rolling and all the red tape, but somehow, you know, our local organizations, they get the stuff done, right? And that's where we need to, again, draw on them, because somehow they figure it out and they get it done a lot quicker, a lot cheaper than the municipality will ever do. And that's where I think we need to go with that, is we need to draw from within those organizations.
Well, Linda Weiss at the Rotary takes care of Dresden, and those flowers are beautiful. She's
The
out there every
Horticulture
day.
Society in
She's-
Dresden is amazing.
It is for sure.
Yes, yes.
I think that it's really important that when we want these organizations that are run by citizens and volunteers who have the passion to get things done, that the local government supports them. It's not sustainable for the government to do it. If you want it done right, you have to support the community members and make sure that they have the tools they need. When they're working with volunteers get tired. Maybe it's stepping in and helping them when things start to, weaken at certain points. And their volunteers are all getting a little older and tired. How do you help that organization continue to grow? And I think that's where you become like the booster club, if you will, to make sure that they're sustainable. Give them what they need. They need money. They need to learn how to access the community partnership funds, different things like that. There's tools within the municipality, but it's supporting our citizens because they're the ones that are going to make things get done and make sure they stay done and be sustainable.
And it's through supporting our citizens in each of those communities that Chatham-Kent can continue to grow uniquely in all of the community downtown areas, right? Because there's a different vibe in every community that you step into in
Absolutely.
Chatham-Kent. And we don't want to universalize that, right? Like,
Right.
I think every community is very proud of the individuality that they have, recognizing that we all do need to work together in partnership as a larger municipality.
Perfect.
agree.
Hey guys, if you are watching at home, you're probably happy that you haven't heard me talk for a long period of time for the first time. Okay, so hit those share buttons. We're going to talk a little bit further. Again, we are at the 10-7 Cafe here in Chatham, and we are sponsored by the Blair Brothers. So thank you very much to all of them. And we're going to continue on. What do the tools look like to help and support small business move into those downtown cores? What does that look like? Like, what are those tools? So we can actually take somebody that's on the fence about starting a business to put them into a storefront. Anybody want to take the lead on that one?
Well, I
Go
think,
ahead,
yeah, I think to kind of build on Jamie's point with the education, one of the biggest tools, and I think most successful programs that ECDEV has been running, is their small business startup program, where you can go and you can get like a rapid, I think it's 3 or 4 days of rapid business training. You make your business plan, you complete that training course, and then afterwards it comes with a grant of up to $5,000 or something
Okay.
like that, right? So if you're new and you're interested and you're a small business person, especially in the lean world of IT and things like that today, that goes a very far when you're starting up. And I think, you know, thinking about some of the more successful businesses in my community, there's been significant reference to the Small Business Center as being their guide and concierge. So I think the services are out there. There's always more that we can do to improve, obviously. But even advertising that those services are there and available, and then giving each of those businesses their own kind of personal concierge as a starting point, is probably a really good start.
Right.
Accessibility is exactly what Melissa said. They need to know, they shouldn't have to dig for it. They need to know what needs to be accessible. It needs to be, you know, once it's there, as soon as we have a inkling that as a municipality that somebody's looking to invest, especially in our downtown area, we should have somebody there able to help them right away. You know, the things that are available for them, what kind of you know, programs that might be in place, is there grants that are being in place that'll help them succeed? Because we all know the first few years of a business is very hard for a business, right? So is there things that we can do and programs that we can utilize to make that first few years a little bit more beneficial for them, so they're still able to provide for their family while providing positions for other people in the community, right? But a lot of things, it seems like, you know, we heard a lot of things when you're talking to a lot of the councillors and the candidates that are running, is red tape. Let's cut away the red tape in regards to people investing in our community. You know, I know there's guidelines you have to, but especially small businesses, let's make it accessible for them, kind of put it in their face so they don't have to go around digging to find these, because the easier it is for them to access the information, the easier it is for them to get to maximize what they can find, right? So.
And I think that is a counselor's role also, to be
Yes.
involved. We should be the most engaged in our community. So when we know that bakery is going to open, or we hear rumors of something happening, we should be approaching those people and
Initiative,
helping
for
them
sure,
give
yes.
them the guidance. That is part of our job as a counselor, to be the most engaged and help give the guidance. We may not have the answers all the time, but we'll find those answers and connect them with the people that need to give them the right answers.
Yeah,
That's
just
right.
take the
And
initiative. Yeah, sorry, Margie.
That's
I
okay,
apologize.
and I think, no, that's all right.
Yeah, all right.
That's all right.
Teamwork.
We're still friends.
You're still
All
friends.
right.
I think that we need to recognize the Workforce Planning Board here as well, that has done a lot of work in our community to make sure that we are up to date with training needs and are keeping our workforce educated and keeping on top of things. And as counselors, like Nick said, I think that it's important that you remain educated. And so when someone calls you and says, how do I open this donut shop?
Right.
You know what? Yeah, we're going to call Stu McFadden. We're going to figure that out for you. I'm going to put you in touch. Know where to go. You know, supporting the people that are there and making sure that people are getting in touch with those educational training tools that we talked about, because like you said, that's one of the most important, expensive things that we can offer.
And the communication too, right? Because we know that there are lots of lots of programs and opportunities out there. But if you have to dig through 10 layers of a website page to find them, or even to get to the phone number, and if you don't know Stu's name or you don't know your counselor's name because you're a new business person in the community, it should be really easy for you to find that information. And I think one area for small businesses where there's a bit of concern is those threshold points. So at what point do I have to start charging HST? At what point do I have to look into payroll issues or WSA? Is that the first employee? Is that the third employee? When can it be my husband or my wife and it's
Employee
still
health
something,
tax
does it
and all,
count?
so they know all that
Exactly.
stuff, right?
You know, if you're at a farmer's market, are you technically a business or are you just somebody knitting things and selling them for goodwill, right? Like, so how do you know what threshold you fall into? Because really in the small business category, it's not just small business and then large infrastructure. There's a lot of stepping stones in between and a lot of different rules that people have to navigate to get through that. And I think our ActDev and small business centers, like I said, they're there. We could do a better job communicating what that is so people aren't blindsided when they realize they've crossed the threshold and oops, now I'm doing it wrong, right?
Right.
So in the end, I think we all sum it up as like, welcome, how can we help you?
Right.
Right, is the attitude that we need to portray when someone walks into that civic center or one of the outlining municipal centers available for them. I think, I think what you're looking for though is an accounting thing, whereas like those thresholds, that's a class. That's one of those ActDev education courses, because that part, like, it's one thing to, okay, I want to start a business. What do I have to do, right? The permits and all that other stuff. That's where I think we come in, right? But how to run a business, for sure. But that's like a special class, I think, that maybe ActDev could put on for those, so then you understand, right? Because that's a lot of extended, right? That I'm not sure that.
But they could have links, though. Like, I think that they
Yeah.
could have links
Yes.
so it's easier for. And let's just face it, in our day and age, like, a lot of us are very internet savvy, but you still have a lot of folks that are trying to invest in business that can't navigate the internet highway, right? So they still want to have that person at the civic center to go in and touch base with them. They still want to have that person that they want to see their face when they're talking to, because there's still a lot of people, that just need some, even if you can just post a link on the site that says, here's the people that can help you learn how to navigate through this information, right? Like, there's great things in our area. Like, I did a lot of work with Goodwill, like even things like that, little like for people that are trying to better themselves, and just having that information for them where they can go sometimes is beneficial. And like Melissa said, in regards to finding that information, I don't think it's really about teaching them how to do it, but at least it's accessible for them, so they know that once we do this has to occur, right? So
Almost like a simplification.
That's right.
How do we
Right.
simplify it?
Exactly.
Because it sounds to me like the information's there. There's a ton of information. How do we simplify it, and how do we bring it to the people rather than the people having to figure out a way to find it?
Yeah.
Like, figure out a way to find
Absolutely.
Well,
And
initiatives.
go ahead, Nick.
We also have to look at the flip side of it too, that we can't put the cart before the horse. We have to build a community that is going to have people that are willing to work at these stores. That is a current issue across the
issue,
board,
yes.
is having not enough employees from service industry to skilled trades. So we need to build a community that has a culture that will recruit people from other communities. We can have all these great ideas of developing our town, but if we don't have anybody for these after we get them to open the store, we can't fill
that's
it. We
everywhere.
can't
He's-
retain
he's-
them. So we
he's
have to
right
look
for
at
sure, yeah.
everything as a holistic manner.
like healthcare, restaurants. I know people in restaurants. Finding servers, finding cooks, finding healthcare workers, even at the municipality. I know that they're struggling as well to find people. Like, it's very difficult. It's not a hard place to find a job right now in Chatham-Kent, right? So we have to make it marketed so people will come here to fill those needs, right?
So I you're right. There's not, but it's the skill, right? Sometimes you need the skill to fill that
Absolutely.
job, right? So, which I think is really good, is there is programs out there that I take programs, and we talked about this,
Yeah.
education, and I'm big on this just because I can, right? There is an ACE program out there put on through the colleges that is free, right? Get your grade 12 for free at a college, right? That helps build that. Who knew that, right? That is such a great thing to have, and people don't take advantage of it. Because I sat in that chemistry program because I thought maybe let's do chemistry again, right? And there was 10 of us, right? They called me the next round to see if I wanted to take something because they're looking for people
Right.
to sit in these courses, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's just a great opportunity that anybody can take advantage of.
That goes back again to the promotion and communication, right? The program's there. Is it communicated out in a broad way so that people can access it, right, and understand it? The last point I wanted to bring up that we haven't talked about as well is mentorship. That idea that, it's, when you're looking at a small business and we talk about community and we talk about the downtown core, there are some very experienced individuals who have made it through that first 5-year hump, who are now kind of in the clear, if you can ever be in the clear as a small business person, but probably have a lot of advice and words of wisdom, and a mentorship. Like, that's a form of informal education that doesn't require somebody to show up at a specific time, because business owners are always going to respond to their business needs first, and allows them to gain that insight and knowledge. And if you talk to young entrepreneurs or young business owners, oftentimes they'll reference and they'll say, yeah, actually this person, they really helped me out, answered a few of my questions, helped me navigate the pathways. And so the value of mentors in our communities is something that we can't take for granted at all.
I agree.
Sure, and making it right, the climate right, or providing a space to have those networking meetings, and because the municipality can't be everything to everyone, but you can set the stage, take it and run with it. We'll support you if you need it, but take it and go. And I think that's, we've got to be careful where we draw that line. What is our role? And, where do we step back and let you go and call us if you need us? We're right here.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about opportunities here. We're about 10 minutes away from being done. And let's talk about opportunities in specific wards. So Anthony, your Ward 2, that's Blenheim area.
Yep.
But you got a bunch of different stuff. You got the Erio spot too.
Yeah, and
Let's talk
opportunity just in general. So
Yeah.
I think Erio has great opportunity for multiple reasons. One, obviously for the water, and then two, for the tourism aspect, right? So I think that Erio is in a lot of places, municipalities that have the water, I think we have to do a little bit of a better job to market those. So everybody in these day and age, whether it's business, we're always talking about integrated marketing all the time. What these companies that basically do everything for you, that network your business, that showcase your business. I think it'd be beneficial for Chatham-Kent to establish, instead of going places and try to bring people back here, going places to try to, and spending a lot of money to come back, to go somewhere and tell them what we can develop business plans for the municipality to have these young professionals. I know a few of them that's went away to school, and we've been fortunate enough that they've come back here. We need to utilize them and basically show the attraction, right? So, we had a chance to take an opportunity tour through Chatham-Kent that was put on here in Chatham, and they were talking about like the blue flag destination for Erio.
Right.
That's something that we have to get these places that will market things for us, right? So if someone can go on a site and see that we're a blue flag beach without us having to do anything, it's a marketing for us. And basically, if we can just attract the people here by letting these young professionals, the best fishing place in South Kent, typing into there, you have to navigate to find Erio.
Right.
Have it so it's on the top of the list. Have it so as soon as they search for something, it's at the top. Let them see that first, because everybody knows if you're looking for a house or whatever you're looking for, your eyes go to the top all the time, right? So whatever's at the top, we have to do a better job of utilizing these young professionals in marketing our community in a digital way, so we don't have to go anywhere. They can come here without us actually going anywhere. And I think that's something with Erio that we could really utilize. There's not a lot of places that you can go that has a bay on one side, a lake on the other. The fishing there this year, I was able to take a charter, is unbelievable. I was talking to people from the States that come here every year, but yet you talk to people that always say the London way will go 2 hours, 3 hours north, and they don't realize that an hour and 45 minutes away there's this beautiful fishing hole that has great establishments that you can sit on the patio, has fine dining, and little things like that. In every municipality, we have to do our best to market, because those are the types of things that are going to bring people here. The niches, because you can't, when you go to Toronto, to a beach in Toronto, like, really, is it a really, I know it's a beach technically, but this we have, right, you know what I'm saying? So like, and like Wheatley and Mitchell's Bay, Rondeau, we have to really network with, find people to network for us, put people, spend money where we can track. When we hire these people, they can track exactly what's going on, who's looking at us, where it's at, and we can focus there to bring people back here.
Awesome. What about in Ward 4 there? What do you got?
Sure, North Kent.
Opportunities. North Kent.
There's plenty in North
South
Kent.
Kent, North Kent.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, there we go. So obviously, just the agriculture in both our areas, but in North Kent, I'll talk about that. We bring in the jobs. We've seen that, right? And I say we, it's all of us, but it's the producers that are brought that company in whites, right? That's what motivated. They know what they need. They're the ones that are motivating this whole thing to work. So, I mean, like I said, it's water all the way up, right? That's awesome. But I think, and we always talk about tourism and how we bring people here. And I don't have the answer right now, but I think we talk about beaches, right? We need something that we don't give somebody else a choice to go to, right? So we say we have beaches, right? Well, there's a lot of places that have beaches. I don't know what the answer is yet, okay? But we need to be able to have a destination where it's, you got to go to Chatham-Kent to do that particular thing. For example, Peely National Park last weekend, all the butterflies, right? That lots of people, I saw that all over Facebook, right? People went there for that, right? We need something like that here. We probably have it. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's obviously the Underground Railroad is right, and that's Dresden, so that's awesome. But I think that's what we're missing, is that we say we have this and we have this and we have that, which is awesome, but it doesn't distinguish us from anywhere else. So we need something that does that. So, and then, Dresden, we have the casino now that's going to be free, right? We need to put something in there, and that would be an awesome place to have showcase something in there. Maybe that's where the incubator should go, right there.
All right, there you
Right?
go. A big one. Okay, Nick.
There you go.
Wellsburg is one of the people. They're the most resilient people. They've lost all their industry and have still come back. We have history in the area. We have the Baldoon Settlement. We have Walpole Island just down the road. We have beautiful waterways. We just need to market that properly and get people to come in. We grow for the world. It's the saying of Chatham-Kent. We grow 70 different types of items in Chatham-Kent. So we need to look at the ag industry hardcore for producing plants like whites. That's going to be awesome. 100 jobs in our community will help every one of us across the board. But Wellsburg has the beautiful waterways, but it's the people. They are genuinely, they care, they're passionate about their town, and they will rally behind everything that the town ever does. And I've raised a lot of money asking for help for different programs, and nobody ever says no in our town. So it is the people, and it's will always survive.
You know what though? That's Chatham-Kent. If someone needs something, I can always stand by. Chatham-Kent will always stand up and help.
Awesome. Margaret?
Well, hey, everyone's talking about it, and I'm thinking tourism. We are all of Chatham-Kent, and I don't know what we market here individually, but I think as a community, we have so many things, and we is it one thing we should market? Is it the Underground Railroad?
Buxton, like the history.
Buxton,
There's
Yes.
so much history
Chatham-Kent
here.
Black
Yes.
Historical, and it touches Dresden, and then there's the Tecumseh Tecumseh Parkway.
Yep.
All of these things in our community that we are rich with history, we're rich with water, we're the size of Prince Edward Island. Maybe that's what we should be marketing. Come to this big land we have here
Yeah.
that connects all of us. I don't know what it is, but it's the people, like you say, it's the tools, it's what we have. It's second to none, but I think we just we fail a bit in telling the world, because when you say, oh, we have the Buxton settlement, right? And then you have to explain it a bit, part of the Underground Railroad. Oh, of course, everybody knows what that is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, once you get past that, then you can talk about our fishing and all of these other things. What a land we live in this great land.
And we need to market it outside. Like
That's
Right.
the thing
we're
is
an
we
hour
market
away
inside.
from the U.S.
Yep.
Yeah.
where they can get a discounted rate because of our dollar right now. So why do we not see a lot of Michigan, Ohio, all those license plates driving through our community?
We do. I live in Mitchell's Bay.
Yep.
Ohio and Michigan know us. We don't know us. We don't
That's
know
the key.
ourselves. I see them. I have next week. I'll have my Ohio neighbor till like February, right? And he comes. He rents out the place beside me, and he hunts and he fishes and everything like that. And I'll see him.
But we need to market the package of Chatham-Kent while
Yes.
they're
I
here.
agree with you 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is
They come
other
for
funds.
they come for
they come
yes.
for the one,
And you have
their,
to search
whatever
for
their
things.
reason is.
You have to search
But-
for things in the
Yes,
municipality. You have
I
to
agree.
search instead of being.
And we're going to wrap it up with Melissa here.
Ward 1. And I think crucial to all of this conversation, just to build on that, is also being the municipality that's willing to invest in our assets in our communities. So we've talked a lot about water, and I'll talk about the water issue in Ward 1, which is Wheatley's Commercial Harbor. What do we have? That's the #1 in the world that no one else can say. Freshwater fishing
That's right.
industry. But it's more than just a commercial harbor. There is a harbor authority there. There are lots of recreational and charter fishing. For some reason, though, the beachfront and the waterfront hasn't been developed as much as some of our other beaches. And what that means is actually for people in West Kent, they're not necessarily traveling 40 minutes to go to Erie O because Leamington's 15 minutes away. So that means our community dollars are being spent in another municipality. So I think as a council, we have to come together to say, what are the assets that we are investing in now that we need to continue to promote? And what do we need to invest in further, even if it means some difficult or some challenging conversations, so that we can continue to build our brand and have a community that not only people want to come to, but that our own residents want to stay in and enjoy. And I think that's crucial.
Awesome. Okay, thank everybody for watching. We're going to be back on with another set of 5 people, candidates from different wards at 7:20. So stay tuned. We're going to take a little break. But thanks to Anthony Sakachi, Marjorie Crew, Nick Cadot, Melissa Harrigan, and Jamie McGrail. So thank you very much, and thank you everybody. And again, hit that share button, hit the like button, and thank you to Blair Brothers.
Can I add one quick thing
And
too, Ben? I think that Ben on live needs to a big thank you for you did for
Absolutely.
So a lot of people are talking about what you're doing, and this is from your hard work. So I want to personally thank you from all the municipalities. of
well, thank you
Chatham-Kent.
very much, and that's because you guys all show up. Or they're not here for me.
Well, no,
All
you
right.
do a great job, and thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thanks a lot.
And thank everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.